In the heart of an old neighborhood steeped in history, the arrival of new residents sparked a chain of mysterious events. The charming facade of the community concealed secrets that thrived in the shadows. Unbeknownst to the newcomers, their friendly neighbors were not what they seemed. Hidden behind warm smiles were vampires, creatures of the night. As Halloween approached, an invitation arrived at the doorstep of the unsuspecting family. The elegant script beckoned them to a masquerade ball hosted by their amiable neighbors. Intrigued by the prospect of community bonding, the new residents accepted the invitation, unaware of the supernatural gathering they were about to enter. The night of the Halloween party unfolded with an ominous ambience. The neighbors, clad in elaborate costumes that veiled their true identities, welcomed the newcomers into a grand ballroom adorned with dark tapestries and flickering candles. As laughter echoed through the air, the mystery of the gathering deepened. Dancing shadows and haunting melodies set the stage for a night that transcended the ordinary. The hosts, with their timeless charm, guided the new residents through the festivities. Unbeknownst to the guests, the masks they wore concealed not only their identities, but also their insatiable thirst for the crimson elixir that sustained their immortal existence. As the night wore on, the atmosphere grew more supernatural, the air thick with anticipation. It was only when the clock struck midnight that the true nature of the masquerade was revealed. The hosts, with eyes glinting like polished onyx, disclosed their vampiric lineage, fangs glistening in the dim light. Fear gripped the newcomers, their initial disbelief replaced by the chilling reality of their neighbors' supernatural existence. Yet, to their surprise, the vampires extended an offer, not of harm, but of inclusion. They sought to welcome the new residents into their hidden world, where shadows danced with secrets and immortality lingered in every dark corner. Caught between the terror of the unknown and the allure of a life beyond mortality, the new residents faced a choice. The neighborhood, once perceived as ordinary, now revealed its supernatural underbelly. As the Halloween moon cast an eerie glow, the newcomers grappled with the revelation, standing at the threshold of a world where the line between horror and fascination blurred like the mist of a centuries-old secret. The new residents hesitated, their hearts pounding in the echoing silence that followed the revelation. The vampires, sensing the conflict within their guests, maintained an air of patient understanding. It was not a night for coercion, but a choice to be made freely. In the ethereal glow of the Halloween moon, the leader of the vampire community, a regal figure with centuries etched in their gaze, stepped forward. They spoke of a coexistence that had endured through the ages, hidden beneath the veneer of normalcy. The neighborhood, a haven for creatures of the night, thrived on the harmony between the living and the immortal. As the clock ticked away, the decision weighed heavily on the minds of the newcomers. The choice extended beyond embracing the supernatural. It was a commitment to a life entwined with ancient secrets and nocturnal wonders. The vampires, despite their ominous nature, radiated a sense of community, offering the newcomers a rare chance at belonging to something extraordinary. In the end, the new residents, drawn by the allure of the unknown and captivated by the enchanting atmosphere of the Halloween night, chose to step into the realm of the supernatural. The vampires, satisfied with the outcome, welcomed them into a society veiled in darkness and mystery. The masquerade continued, but with an added resonance, the harmonious blend of mortal and immortal footsteps echoing through the ancient halls. The neighborhood, once shrouded in secrets, now thrived as a sanctuary where the living and the undead coexisted, bound by the magic of Halloween night. As dawn approached, signaling the end of the supernatural revelry, the new residents marveled at the transformation of their perception. The once ominous neighbors became mentors in the art of navigating the shadows, and so, under the fading moonlight, the bonds between the living and the immortal were forged, and the neighborhood retained its status as a haven where Halloween never truly ended, an eternal midnight masquerade. The stillness of the night, Emily awoke to an unsettling silence that hung like a heavy shroud. The air, thick with an inexplicable tension, bore no trace of the familiar sounds that accompanied the presence of her family. As she stumbled out of bed, dread clawed at her insides, an ominous feeling that the world around her had slipped into an abyss of solitude. The rooms echoed with emptiness, As Emily navigated through the dimly lit house, each step intensifying the eerie silence that enveloped her. She called out to her family, her voice a fragile echo against the foreboding quiet, but no response came. Panic gnawed at the edges of her consciousness as she frantically searched each room, finding only the haunting emptiness that had swallowed her home. A chill ran down her spine as she reached the living room, where an inexplicable horror awaited. The windows were boarded up and the doors barricaded, a sinister seal that condemned her to a claustrophobic purgatory. The very portals that once ushered in the warmth of family and the ambient sounds of life now stood as ominous barriers, trapping her in an isolated abyss. Desperation clawed at Emily as she pounded on the boarded-up windows, her pleas for escape drowned in the unsettling silence. The realization struck her: the world beyond those barriers, once familiar, had transformed into a surreal nightmare. A malevolent force seemed to have woven a veil of isolation around her, separating her from the comforting embrace of family and the outside world. Hours turned into an agonizing eternity as Emily grappled with the inexplicable confinement. The oppressive silence bore down on her, intensifying the shadows that danced across the boarded-up walls. Alone and surrounded by the stifling darkness, she sought answers, a rational explanation for the surreal nightmare that had befallen her. As Emily delved into the confined solitude, whispers of a supernatural force flickered through her mind, an entity that thrived in the shadows, orchestrating the disappearance of her family and sealing her within the walls of an otherworldly prison. The boarded-up windows and doors became symbols of an insidious barrier, shielding her from the reality she once knew. With each passing moment, Emily's resolve wavered, and a creeping fear gripped her heart. The silence, once an eerie backdrop, now echoed with spectral voices that seemed to mock her predicament. As Emily grappled with the suffocating isolation, a flicker of hope emerged, an old photograph discovered in the attic, depicting a ritual she barely remembered. The realization struck her: an ancient force, dormant for generations, had seized her family and cast her into this spectral prison. Determined to unravel the mystery, Emily retraced the forgotten steps of the ritual. The boarded-up windows and doors seemed to whisper secrets, guiding her toward a ritualistic pattern that, when deciphered, unveiled the path to break free from the insidious confinement. The journey through the house became a surreal quest, with each room holding cryptic clues and symbols that echoed the forgotten ritual. Emily, fueled by a blend of fear and determination, navigated the corridors like a modern-day sorceress, seeking to dismantle the supernatural barriers that held her captive. As she approached the heart of the mystery, the room where the ritual had transpired, a spectral presence manifested. The malevolent force, angered by her defiance, sought to thwart her escape. Shadows danced in protest, and the very air quivered with the unseen struggle between the forces of confinement and Emily's desperate bid for liberation. With an ancient incantation passed down through her family, Emily channeled the latent magic woven into the ritual. The room pulsated with ethereal energy as the boarded-up windows and doors trembled, resisting the force that sought to shatter the supernatural seal. In a climactic surge, the veil of silence began to dissipate. Boards splintered and windows creaked open as Emily's incantation echoed through the house. The oppressive shadows recoiled, revealing a world beyond the barriers, a world where her family, held captive in a spectral dimension, awaited release. As the last remnants of the ritual's confinement unraveled, Emily emerged into the outside world. The sunlight, long denied by the supernatural veil, bathed her in its warmth. The once boarded windows and doors now stood open, a testament to her triumph over the malevolent force that had sought to imprison her in a realm of isolation. As she reunited with her family, the echoes of the ritual faded into a distant memory, leaving behind a house no longer haunted by the oppressive silence that once imprisoned her.